left over.
It didn't make any sense anymore to think of it as a planet because it fits so well with this new population of Kuiper Belt objects.
We all considered Pluto was strange at that time, but we didn't know how to resolve this.
And frankly, many of my colleagues weren't ready to mess with America's favorite planet. We all knew Pluto was an icy object, just like everything else in the Kuiper Belt, but it was still the largest one in the neighborhood. That is, until my other dinner companion, Mike Brown, came into the picture.
I had just finished my PhD, and I was looking for something new to move into, and this seemed like the most obvious thing that anyone could start working on. This was an entirely new area of the solar system to go study, so it was very exciting.
Mike set his sights on doing something really big, finding a Kuiper Belt object larger than Pluto.
I was determined that there still must be something out there. I had caught the bug of finding it.
At the Palomar Observatory in California, Mike had access to the largest digital camera on Earth. The images were uploaded to Mike's computer, where he analyzed them every morning. With technology on his side, the discoveries just kept on coming.
We found Quaoar, which is an object out in the Kuiper Belt that's about half the size of Pluto. The next year we found something about 3/4 the size of Pluto. And then the following year we found this thing, and it was so bright. And also moving so slowly because it was so far away. I looked at it and I thought, this can't be right. If it's that bright and moving that slowly, it's the furthest thing we've ever found. And it's the biggest thing we've ever found. It must be quite big, certainly bigger than Pluto, and that's crazy.
But it wasn't crazy.
On the day that we publicly announced the discovery, I had to make a decision, what we were going to call it. Is it a planet? Is it not a planet? Is it the 10th planet? Finally, I had to say, okay, it's the 10th planet. Fine.
It's the 10th planet.
And I will tell you, when everybody kept on calling me, congratulating me for discovering the 10th planet, I felt fraudulent the entire day.
Why?
William Herschel pointed his telescope in the sky and found Uranus. Uranus is a major part of the solar system, and he found it. That is a pretty big deal. I discovered a little ice ball out on the fringe, and it just didn't seem like the same magnitude of a discovery. And I had been struggling with this for years. Like, what do you do when you finally find one bigger than Pluto? I did not believe that astronomers had the guts to ever demote Pluto, because it's just too publicly painful.
And if tiny Pluto was a planet, shouldn't Mike's discovery be one too? So he forged ahead, ultimately selecting a clever name for his discovery. Eris, the Greek goddess of discord and strife. Eris instilled jealousy and envy among men, driving them to battle. Mike's choice perfectly captured the destabilizing effect Eris was destined to have on Pluto, although he couldn't have guessed what was about to happen next. For the past century, the IAU, the International Astronomical Union, has been in charge of naming celestial objects. But it couldn't approve the name of Mike's discovery without knowing if it was a Kuiper Belt object or the 10th planet. This posed a problem because the word planet had not been formally defined since ancient Greece. Clearly, our knowledge of the solar system has expanded since then. So committees were assembled to come up with a new definition, the last of which was headed by my friend from Harvard, Owen Gingerich.
So what we proposed was that planets should be round and going around the sun.
So massive enough for the gravity to shape them into a nice round form, okay?
That's right.
Under this definition, Pluto would remain a planet. Mike Brown's discovery would be one too. And as new discoveries are made in the outer solar system, the planet count could go up.
We realized that doing this would bring scores of planets
into the accounting of planets in the solar system.
That's right.
But when the definition was proposed in Prague at the 2006 IAU conference, many scientists were dead set against it. A rebellion was brewing, and things were getting ugly. But just to clarify, your original suggestion got overturned within days.
Our recommendations were rather pushed to the side, and a new kind of definition came about in the final voting at the union meeting.
A new definition that included the following line. A planet must clear the neighborhood around its orbit. Pluto travels in a crowded neighborhood, littered with thousands of Kuiper Belt objects. It's simply not massive enough to clear them out of the way.
And the definition that the IAU came up with, 8 major things which dominate the solar system are planets. They're all big, they go in circular orbits in one disk around the sun, and everything else is on these other crazy orbits, much smaller. Those are not planets. That concept is a rock-solid concept.
And when this new definition went to a vote of the members present, it was a slam dunk. After 76 years, Pluto was no longer a planet.
I'm sorry, I thought planets might be one of the constants in life. But scientists just love change more than anything else. I'm sorry, that's not change I can believe in.
The whole underpinnings of what we understand as science. Is gravity real, or do we just have sticky stuff on our shoes? I mean, the whole thing. What are we doing at that point?
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that that was the vote that happened. But when that vote happened, I knew exactly what was going to happen next.
Supporters of Pluto are speaking out, trying to help it regain planet status.
Rock on Pluto, you'll always be a planet to me.
Pluto lovers of America did not take the IAU decision lightly. At New Mexico State, where Clyde Tombaugh had taught, students took to the streets.
Go Pluto! Pluto forever!
The New Mexico legislature declared Pluto was still a planet within state borders.
No matter what it says on the chart, you'll always be a planet in my heart. Rock on Pluto.
And Illinois soon followed, spurred on by efforts led by the concerned citizens of Streator. So I've got in my hand this legislation passed by the 96th General Assembly here in the state of Illinois.
Yes.
No one's got a problem with declaring March 13th Pluto Day, the anniversary of Clyde Tombaugh announcing the discovery. No, who could argue that? It's this part of the resolution that says when Pluto passes